Test. Hey, what do you say, Seattle hockey fans? Coming to you live from the Rock, where the Seattle Kraken will take on the New Jersey Devils. It's going to be a good one. We're going to have to fight like hell to get a win in New Jersey before taking on the New York Rangers, who, in case you haven't heard, signed a pretty big fish. All that coming up on this episode, this live episode of Locked On Kraken.
You are Locked On Kraken, your daily podcast on the Seattle Kraken, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
We are the Seattle Kraken.
Hey, what do you say, Seattle hockey fans? Welcome to another episode of Locked On Kraken. I'm your host, Erica L. Ayala, coming to you live from the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, as the Seattle Kraken are right below me taking the ice. They're taking on the New Jersey Devils. I think there's a lot to be excited about in this game, but that's only if the Seattle Kraken actually show up. They got to have that dog in them, as I talked about yesterday. So we'll see if they can make it happen. Let's first let you know that this episode of Locked On Kraken is brought to you by our new sponsor, and that is FanDuel. FanDuel is the place to go, the only app that you need as we get ready for the Super Bowl. FanDuel is the official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/Locked On today to get started. Where we're going to start today's episode is first taking you through some of the lineup changes that we know. We got to speak to Justin Schultz earlier today. He is back in the lineup. That being said, he will be with Carson Soucy. We heard from Dave Haxtell. We also know that right now, Andre Burakovsky week to week. So the Seattle Kraken have brought up some reinforcements from Coachella Valley. We'll talk about that. But big news is Burakovsky. He's been our leading scorer, and now we're without him. So we're going to have to figure out a way to win. And Burakovsky got the game winner the last time we played this team, the New Jersey Devils, and got that OT game winner. So we'll be without his services. But regardless of if Burakovsky was on the ice or not, the Seattle Kraken need to pick it up. Everybody knows it. Dave Haxtell talked to the media corps that was here. Myself, Darren Fun Guy Brown is in the crowd here with us today. And we heard from him, and Darren asked, are you expecting this team to play better? And Dave basically said, well, yeah, we have to play better. It was a sleepy game against the Islanders. We talked about that yesterday, felt that could be the case. And, you know, now the Seattle Kraken have to deal with the fact that they did not play well coming out of the break, and they're going to have to overcome some of that. They had a good, tough, but concise practice yesterday. I reported from our after practice yesterday. And as you can hear, likely, I'm at the game today. So let's get into our opponent. First, we'll give you what we got from Seattle Kraken PR. This is the matchup. Overall record, you can see 70 points on the season, 33-13-4 for the New Jersey Devils. The Seattle Kraken are 29-16-5 with 63 points. Away record for us, 16-6-2. Home record, though, for the Devils, 14-10-2. 8-1-1 in their last 10. That being said, they've had to grind out a lot of overtime games. 4 of their last 5 games have gone to overtime, and they lost one of those OT games to us. That's right. The Seattle Kraken, aforementioned Burakovsky, got the game winner there. Penalty kill for the Devils, 81% clip. We're about even on the power play. Again, Andre Burakovsky out, but I mentioned this on social media. I mentioned it yesterday on the podcast. Not only is Andre Burakovsky out as our leading point scorer, but Jack Hughes out for the New Jersey Devils. Lindy Ruff talked to media yesterday. I was a part of that media corps, said that Jack Hughes, had to come off the ice. They're evaluating him. It was announced today. Piper Shaw announced it on Twitter. That's the first I saw, that he will not play, that being Jack Hughes. Now, last time we played the Devils in this building, we kind of rocked Jack Hughes a little bit. And you may remember I talked about that with Locked On Devils host Trey Matthews. So I'm expecting this to be a pretty good game. We really have to come out striking early against this Devil squad. They didn't play their best last time they took us on, but both sides know that these are two good teams, but these are two teams that really want a regulation win. So I'm looking for a lot of high compete level. I'm looking for just a really dogfight game. That's the kind of game Seattle's going to have if they want to win. Let's take you over to the 3-game essentials by the amazing Allison Lukan. Of course, we start with the Know Your Opponent. Allison writes about the overtime winner by by Andre Burakovsky. Dave Haxtell talking about today's matchup. The Devils have played consistently throughout the year. They're a quick team. They have really good ability throughout their lineup and play a fast game. This is a great matchup. And of course, he wants his team to check well and make sure that they're doing things quickly and sharply with the puck if they want to overcome the Devils. The third essential, return to Kraken hockey. Technically, the subtitle is Return to the Kraken game. I can't agree with this more. I talked about it, a sleepy game against the Islanders. And so now it has to be back to the checking, back to the energy. We heard from Ryan Donato. I spoke to Carson Soucy yesterday, and they really just felt like they didn't help out Martin Jones, who had a good performance against the Islanders, but had no goal support. Today we'll see Philip Grubauer. Now, statistically speaking, we don't give Gruby a lot of goal support, so I'm very curious to see how the team is going to come out against this team. This is what Dave Haxtell had to say about returning to the Kraken way. We've done a good job of being focused on ourselves throughout the year. The task is doing it day in and day out and continuing to do it through the long haul. That's the task at hand right now. We're coming off of a disappointing loss the other night where we couldn't get ourselves going. We're going to make sure that we do a little bit better of a job of that tonight. And essential number 3 per Allison Lukan, and I love this one, stepping it up. So many members of the Seattle Kraken have contributed throughout the season, and that's what's made us successful. But we didn't see that, obviously, against the Islanders, and it has been dwindling even before the All-Star break. So this is what Allison has to say. The Kraken roster has consistently been able to respond to new roles when asked this season, and it's possible there is more of that tonight. We had to recall someone from Coachella Valley. We'll talk about that in a coming segment. Defender Justin Schultz back in the lineup. We heard from him earlier today. And so we'll really have to see how the Seattle Kraken adjust. And Dave Haxtell talked to us today in media saying no excuses. It's that time of the season, and that's part of hockey. You're not going to have everyone healthy. You're going to have to deal with injuries. You're going to have to deal with people coming in and out of the lineup. So I'm looking to see how the Seattle Kraken are able to bounce back. Coming up on this live show. So if you think I'm loud, it's even louder in the Rock. And hopefully we'll be able to quiet that crowd down. But coming up, let's take you to some other stats and facts that I'm looking forward to. And then I'll give you my big, bad, bold predictions on what we need from the Seattle Kraken tonight. And I will also be taking a look at the comments. So if you have questions that you want me to answer, feel free to fire away. Right now, I want to let you know that this episode of Locked On Kraken, live from the Rock, is brought to you by FanDuel. We are very excited about our new partnership with FanDuel, the #1 sports book in the United States. And that's right on time for, you know it, the big game. No, not the Devils and the Kraken, unfortunately. We're talking about the Super Bowl. And you can download FanDuel now so you can bet Super Bowl 57 with a no-sweat first bet. You'll get up to $3,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. So really, is being unlucky more lucky than being lucky? Maybe, in your no-sweat first bet. So Remember, you can head over to FanDuel today by going to FanDuel.com/LockedOn to claim your no sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57. I don't have a dog in the race, but if you did, look at the point spread, look at what you think is going on there, and then we can get back to that hockey. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. And we will continue to talk about FanDuel, especially with the Calder odds. I don't know if you listen to the Locked On Sabres show, but you might want to, because they're trying to make a case for Owen Power over Matty Beniers. We might have to break that down. Anyway, as I said, I'm here live. Yo, what's up, Wyndham Wood? Let's go Kraken. You know it. No soccer ball strikes tonight. No, I did not get hit by a soccer ball, and I'm very grateful. The New Jersey Devils were very gracious and allowed me to cut right through. Anyway, I'm here from the Prudential Center, the Rock. We've got a full house. Darren is here. We've got Jeff Baker here. We've got the trio in the broadcast booth for TV if you're watching on Root Sports. And then, of course, we've got the dynamic radio duo. I might be sneaking up to the radio booth a little bit later, so keep your eyes on my social media right there at elinz08. And, of course, Locked On Kraken. I'll bring you some of that. All right, folks, this is what I want to see. I talked about it. Do the Seattle Kraken have that dog? Or do they have that bite in them? I think we could. Now, I will say, Andre Burakovsky, he's one of those guys. I keep talking about it, but that's because, obviously, the last time these two teams played, Andre Burakovsky was the difference. I was on playback. I know some of you were on there with me, and I was saying, as we were going to overtime, we need someone to say, this is over. We're done. We're not letting this go long into overtime. We're not going into a shootout. And that was Andre Burakovsky. He's been that dude. I talk a lot about Matty Beniers being that dude, and I still believe he is. But Andre Burakovsky, cool, calm, collected, straight to the point, and we don't have him. So who else is going to step it up? I talked a little bit about Yanni Gourde. We know he's all gas, no brakes. That being said, he might be a little bit banged up. As far as I know, he will be in the lineup because, again, he's the guy that Ronnie Francis sees on crutches one day, and then he's in the lineup the next day. So you want to talk about dog? He's got a big bark, Yanni Gourde, but how will that translate? I've talked about it before earlier in the season, but the dynamic duo that is Yanni Gourde and Brandon Tanev and their energy, we need them to step up big time. We need some of that energy. We need someone to bring the energy and then also have a second wave of finesse. So I'm looking at Schwartzy. I'm looking at Eberle. I'm looking at Beniers. We need those guys to step up. So, yes, okay, listen, let's talk about the lineups and the lines. I see this comment here, Schwartz, Wenny, and Donato as a line. The lines are all over the place right now with the Seattle Kraken, that having to do a little bit with the injuries, but also I think trying to shake things up. I like this one. Big, bold prediction tonight. Spronger scores a goal for his fallen friend, Berkey. You know why I like this? I like this because it's next man up mentality. I like this because it's play for the crest on the front, not the name on the back. And I also like this because it's got a little bit of spice. Spronger, I believe Allison Lucan might have mentioned this earlier in the season. He will score after being a scratch. And so he didn't play against the Islanders. He draws in today. And I think Sprong sometimes will be like, oh, well, what we're not going to do is keep me on the bench. And so I love to see that. We'll see if that transpires. The lines have been all over the place. I'm not even going to lie. It makes me a little bit nervous, but that's because of injury. So I do think some of the chemistry has been lacking. You're coming out of a break. You got new lines. You know, we had some guys on their offside, especially defensively, that should shift now or back to as good as normal with Justin Schultz back in the lineup. But yeah, the lineups have definitely been interesting. Some other things to know about this matchup tonight. I mean, again, the Devils are a good team. But again, they have gone to overtime in five of their last six matchups. One of those OTs, the only OT loss that they had was to us. And they've been playing against Pacific Division rivals. This is a chance for the Seattle Kraken to really gain some ground, and they have to come up big. We know that Will Borgen had his 100th game the other day. We're looking at these are the kind of players that, as far as points, they're on record for career highs. Vince Dunn, Jacob Megna, Daniel Sprong, we mentioned, and Borgen. They've already set career highs in scoring, and we want them to add to that tally. Vince Dunn, our player of the month, third star for the NHL of the month. He's totaled 11 points, 4 goals, 7 assists in his last 8 games played on the road. He enters the game riding a 4-game point streak. Let's keep that going, Dunny. Let's keep it going. Why not score a goal? I love when defensemen score goals. I love it. This is what we need to know about Philipp Grubauer. First thing you need to know is, I've said this before, Philipp Grubauer plays for the Seattle Kraken. Show some respect. Show Gruby some love. And for the love of all things, we need this roster to give Gruby some goal support. But here's something you need to know. Philipp Grubauer is undefeated in his career against New Jersey, posting a 5-0-0 record with a .924 save percentage and 1.97 goals against average. I like those odds, baby. I like those odds, especially given that what we see from this New Jersey team is they're shooting and scoring, at 3.5 goals per game. That's their pace right now. So if Gruby can tap into those averages, that's what we need. We have a little bit of a better goals for at 3.54. That's 5th and 6th in the league, respectively. Seattle 5, the Devils 6. We're so close in a lot of categories, so it's going to take some bark. It's going to take some bite to take over this game. We need a win. I want it to get nasty. I want it to get dirty. Not like in a physical way, because I honestly don't think that's the Kraken's game. I want us to dominate. I want us to unapologetically play Seattle Kraken hockey. Coming up next on the game. Hey, there's Amanda. Come on over.
Oh, I gotta set myself up.
Do your thing. Do your thing. All right, coming up next, let's talk about what we want to see from the Seattle Kraken team. All right, we'll be right back, folks. Got to do it how you got to do it, you know? Hey, short little break there for our sponsors, particularly on audio. But as you can see, the media course filling up, so we're going to keep this short and sweet. I see we've got some comments here. Let's get to them. Devils are missing Jack Hughes. Yes, that is correct. Talked about that on yesterday's episode. So the 2 leading scorers for both teams, Burakovsky for us, Jack Hughes for the Devils, are missing in this game. So no excuses. Both teams down a player. I like this comment, and that's why someone has to step up. Let me know in the comments, who do you want to see step up for Seattle? Do you have any thoughts on who might step up for the Devils? I don't know. I think it's going to be a big one. Hey, Brittany, fellow Kraken fan, love that. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. All right, folks, as you can see, we're getting close to time, but you know how we got to do. We're going to make some predictions. I'm feeling like the winning team's got to score 4. That's what I'm feeling like. I really think the offense is going to open up for both teams. So obviously I'm going to take the Seattle Kraken. I would like to see 4-2. I honestly think it could be 4-3. I'm not saying that's going to necessarily be in regulation, but that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling 4 goals. How do you feel about that? 4 goals. So now I guess I got to give you goal scorers. You know I got to go with Donnie Boy. I mean, I just love it when Donnie scores. And I think this is a type of team, this is a type of game where we need Ryan Donato to have that piss and vinegar. All right, so I've got Donnie. You know what? I want to see Eberle. I want to see Eberle get on the board. I already mentioned Yanni Gourde. And you know what? Why not? For the heck of it, let's get Turbo a goal. Can we get Turbo a goal? My goodness, this season, I feel like Turbo Tanev has been doing everything but finishing. What was the game? It was like a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, where he had so many shots. I was just like, holy cannoli, is he going to score yet? Maybe it was in Boston too, I think, when I was at that game. So I like this. Oh, how could I forget about Spronger? All right, maybe we get an extra goal, maybe that 5th goal. I do think Sprong, I mentioned it earlier in the earlier segment, I kind of do think Sprong scores. I kind of want Tanev to score, but I think Sprong is probably the better take. If you were going to do a FanDuel or Prize Picks pick, probably go with Sprong. Again, he likes scoring after being a scratch. and we're going to need as much of it as possible. So I'm going 4 goals overall, maybe a bonus 5th goal, and those are some of my goal scorers. Let me know who you like. Hey, what do you say? Let's go. The crew is in. I love it. Thank you so much for joining. I have no idea what I sound like, so I apologize if I'm screaming too loud, but I'm having a good time. Hopefully you can feel the ambiance here at the Rock. This is where I called my first NHL game. I got Amanda Stein here. We've got Jeff over there. We've got Darren over there. And so I'm going to go join the crew here, and we're going to have a good time. I love Maddie B. You know I love Maddie B. So, yeah, I didn't even see that part of this one's. Yeah, why not get a Maddie B goal? We want everyone. Oh, I love this. Thank you so much. Great energy. You know I always got to bring the energy, folks. All right, so this is an important game. And then we got a really big one tomorrow. I alluded to the Rangers really leveling up in the trade. So we got some work to do, folks, and it has to start tonight. That's right. Let's get it going. All right, coming in nice and clear. I love this. We got a little Miley Cyrus playing in the background. All right, folks, we're going to close out this live, but make sure you're following me personally and, of course, Locked On Kraken. We'll make sure you get the sights and sounds from New Jersey, and then tomorrow it's another game day. Hopefully, I'm recapping a win. Until then, you already know what I'm going to say. Be kind to yourself and to one another. We hold fast, we stay true, and tonight we scream loud and proud, let's go Kraken! All right, folks, until next time, peace. I got to close it out. I got to get my screen. Hold on. We'll see you later.